from Senegal to Sugar Hill, trace the bloodline. 100 years of brilliance through the color line. They thought the shackles broke but kept the mental chain. Langston penned the future while they legislated pain. Harlem's ballrooms birthed the cosmos in mahogany, while lynching trees still decorated southern botany. Josephine, Wakers, Pearls, and Garvey's Navy ships. Du Bois debating destiny with scholarship on his lips. The Renaissance was a renaissance of West resistance, fam. Every trumpet blast from Armstrong was a battering ram. They gave us minstrel shows, we gave them Sora Neal. Turned depression into art, made the fabricated real. Cotton Club excluded us from tables every set. To form the Deanest Nightly, never free from the deck. But Bessie Smith could shatter glass, shatter cash, shatter lies. Every note she sang contained a revolution in the sky. Build temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We build temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they try to keep us from. Fast forward through the decades, watch the pattern reassemble. Malcolm's speeches, Martin's marches, every voice begins to tremble to the earth until the structure shows its fractures. FBI was tracking every coon with every pastor, every actor. 40 acres never came but 40 minutes on a stage. Could reconvene your consciousness and channelize the rage. From bebop to hip-hop, the fool lines mathematical. Each generation weaponized the beautiful, the radical. They gave us Reagan, now there's crack and mass incarceration. We gave them Public Enemy and blueprints for liberation. The Harlem Renaissance never ended, just evolved its form. Every freestyle cipher is a brainstorm, is a storm. Where the children of the talented, the tent that was prophesied, inherit the fire that the water couldn't wash aside. They tried to write us out the narrative. We offered all on text, 100 years of proof, and that we're destined where was next. Temples from the rubble, make cathedrals from the struggle. Turn the margins to the center, now they study what we scribble. We built temples from the rubble, every generation double. The inheritance of genius that they tried to keep us from.
All right, everyone. This is Touching Bases with the People. You are on Under the Groove podcast. Grand Rising. Welcome, everybody. Hopefully everything is everything and everyone is all right above board. Another day, all right? Another day in paradise, as they say. I'm here, and hopefully everyone else is, will be tapping in, dropping in as well. This is a Wednesday night. This is the first Wednesday of Touching Bases with the People, mainly due to the fact that the Royal Group congregation suggested this, thought it would be a good look. I concur. Here we are, all right? So let's get it in, man. Let's do what we're supposed to do. And, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'm pretty sure every time we walk away or we leave the channel and we go about our daily lives or what's left of it in the evening, I think a lot of reflection takes place. There's a lot of appreciation just based on the fact that we were able to come in here together, man, sit down and chop it up, do the things that we do. All right. So again, that's what I'm here for. I love doing this, and this is why I'm here. I love the fact that the people are here. Lisa Moore, how are you tonight, this evening, sister? She said, blessings, bro. Peace and love to the kings and queens in the chat. Black first. B1 equals black first. Lisa Moore, it's always a pleasure and honor to have you amongst us. All right, sister. So, enjoy this, the sitting, this gathering, as we call it, glad that you're here. All right. I see you, Sharp Spear. What it do, loved one? That's right, man. He said, peace, bub, and the get down. Let me get y'all email so I can get you that Abraham Lincoln breakdown. Yeah, no doubt about that. Boom, 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 boom. I'll drop that in there for you now and as we go along, bro. I just hired the homie, the loved one, Alonzo. I just saw his email tonight. And Alonzo, when you come in, if you in, man, I apologize for just now running across it, man. I'm telling you, just a lot be going on in my life, man, as I'm sure it is with everybody's, so that's not an excuse. I got around to it today, man, and I appreciate that you tapped in. And yeah, man, I will tap back in, and let's chop it up like you suggested. I'm down with that. Let me see. Yeah, man. This for you, Sharp Spear. In fact, this is for anybody that's in the Royal Group congregation and want to tap in and just have something to say in the email. I will read it. I will read it. All right. So don't think that I won't. But it's a good look. I'm glad we have this also at our disposal. Wait a minute, I'm forgetting something. Okay. There we go. Nope, that's wrong. See, yeah, I'm a novice, man. All right, there we go. Be quiet. There you go, right there, though, Sharp Spear. Again, the brothers say peace, bub, and to the get down. And peace, bub, and the get down. Let me get your email so I can get you that Abraham Lincoln breakdown. Again, I'm appreciate that as well, because we talked about Abraham Lincoln in this myth, this lie that he freed the slaves, and partly because he had a certain sympathy or, you know, a certain moral obligation to do so. That's a lie. That man couldn't have gave 2 flying F's, man, if we stayed in slavery or not. And he said that. So, you know, anything I can get on him, man, I like to have that as ammunition. If ever I come into contact with some people, those people who want to sit up and try to prop him up on some pedestal like he did, you know, our people a favor, I'll have, you know, not just a reply, but, you know, ammunition to gun them down with, man, you know. So I appreciate that again. All right, Giovanni Supreme 2306, right on, love one strong side. Right back to you, man. Good to see you up in this. Get down, Giovanni. Hey, man, this is where we get down at, man. This is where we focus on the focus and we get down with the get down. Everything here is above board. I'm sure you already heard this right here, man, but I'd be remiss not to say it again because there's no telling who's listening or who's watching, you know, so always keep that in mind. Hey, man, this is where we focus on the focus. You know, we get brothers and sisters, man, and others. You know, our brothers and sisters, period, point blank, will come in here, man, and we tap in. We drop jewels and gems. We pick them up, man. We pass them on. We do those things I think that we need to see more of on other channels, man. Hopefully this is, you know, the example. Hopefully this is the example for a lot of others, man, for others of our ilk, you know, or anybody that's down with this get down, man, to pass on, man, to get a hold of, man, and represent it like it should be represented, man. Appreciate you in this get down, bro. All right. Real spit. Queen Nzinga says, good evening, my beautiful black people. I hope all is well. B1, for those who don't know, B1 equals black first. And that's to get down with, you know, that's what we do here, man. We sit up and we push that, you know, we speak it. You know, we speak into existence, you know, black first, man. And when we come on here, man, we with the business. All right. Giovanni Supreme goes on to say, we always was free. We were the natives. Most all government teachings are all lies and a bland attack on the mental. Yeah, we were just talking about that the other night, how these attacks seem to alternate. First is, you know, the attack of the body. You know, they captured the body, they put it in bondage. You know what I'm saying? Then came the attack on the mind. You know what I mean? They stripped us of our knowledge of self, religion, language, the whole nine. You know how that shit go. That's what they did. Now the attack, if you ask us, we'd be quick to tell you, the attack now is on the spirit. It's on the soul of the black folk. You know, they are attacking us now. Mind, body, and soul. Facts, man. Facts. But, you know, here we are. In spite of all that, here we are. But you have a grand point, a great point, Giovanni. That is a fact, you know, on a lot of fronts, man. First, you say we always were free. We the natives. You know, let them tell it. It wasn't us. We weren't the natives of this land, you know. And in fact, they told it so proper. I mean, so they spin the yarn, as the saying go, so masterfully that they got other people actually believing that they were here first. You know, very deceptive, man. Very deceptive people. You know, and they leave out the fact that the erasure of the original indigenous people here, you know, were us. You know, it's starting to come out now, but still, I mean, you know, prop that up against those who, for the last couple of 100 years or so, thought that they were here first or were indoctrinated with the mindset that they were here before us. You know, it's a cold game. It's a cold game, man. But it's one that's in play. And I think that's what we need to be mindful of, man. That that there are games in play. And they're in play, man, to keep us from ownership of our identity, of our education, our history, you know, and our self-respect, man. It's a lot going on. It's a whole lot going on. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. The more we speak about this stuff or coming to the know of what's been happening to us, the more we should be not frustrated, but angry. Angry to the point to where, okay, we want to do something about it. And not necessarily in a retributional act or way, you know what I mean? But to the point, okay, man, let me go and recapture everything that was, you know, was taken away from me. Let me go claim that back first. I'm gonna show y'all that way, you know. That's the vibe I get. That's the vibe I get, man. The more I read and learn about a lot of stuff that's been hidden from us, you know, socked away somewhere, the more I get a bar of it and come to overstand that what was done to us was purely and truly intentional. It lights a fire in me, man. It makes me think that, okay, I got to do something, man. I have to reclaim or not attempt or get to the point where I can actually do something to reclaim my identity. And then if it's my identity I'm talking about, it has to be as well my family, you know? So, you know, that's how that's how that affects me. You go on to say, Giovanni, thanks. We are the God's world. We are the God's world. When we have our minds right and constantly walk in the light as the lions of Judah. Right on. Right on. But I get it. We are the gods of the world. Yeah, man. That conversation, man, we have that one all the time, man. We have the God gene. No one else has it. I just saw a piece the other night. Man. And again, here's a situation where information like this, it gets socked away, squirreled away, so to speak, to where, or to such an extent where we won't get it for the next 20, 30, 40 years. But so scientists have found yet again another strand DNA related to the melanated people that they cannot explain. You know? So that says a lot. In fact, I'm going to drop a piece on that. If not tonight, tomorrow, I'm going to put that on the channel, man. I'm going to put that on the channel. And I'm hoping everyone taps into that, man. Like, share, comment, and subscribe if you see fit, to those who have not already subscribed. But let's make this point clear. Let's be very clear about this. For those of you who already subscribed, like, share, and comment to Under the Groove Podcast. I want to go one further. Go and check out All Things Politics. Subscribe to the channel, all right? Subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and comment on that as well. Anybody's involvement in this would be greatly appreciated. I think, you know, just based on how I go about dealing with that channel as well, will show that, okay, man, I'm serious about what I say and I mean what I say. As we go, as this new channel grows, it will become better and better, you know, something that the people can really appreciate. It's based purely on politics, because politics is what make the world go round. Don't get it twisted, man. I don't care what aspect of your life you're talking about, is connected to politics in some form or fashion. And that would include our relationships, you know, as sad and bad as that may sound, you know. All right. So I appreciate that comment though, Giovanni, man. Appreciate you. Chris, what it do, bro? You say, Buzz, speaking of genes, have you taken the MyHeritage DNA test? No, I have not. So look, I'm like this, man. I'm a skeptic in a lot of respects, man. I think also, man, I'm a pessimist, you know, in a lot of respects more than I am an optimist. And I embrace that pessimistic side of me because I think that it's the pessimism in me that makes me go and find what's, the optimism in something that could be, not necessarily always good, or not will not go the way we want it to or how we plan it. Through pessimism, I find optimism. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. That being said, when it comes to a lot of these DNA tests, my thing is first and foremost, who created these tests? Where did they come from? Who owns the intellectual rights to it? Who is or who are these people? That's something I'm concerned with. I haven't taken one purposely, I haven't taken one purposely, but I know my wife works with me on our bloodline, my heritage, where I come from, so, that's where I start from. That's why, that's where, I've launched, this, motivation, man, to find out, where I come from. But no, I haven't taken the My Heritage DNA test. Again, I don't know who sponsored that test, who created it. I don't know if it's the government, if it's, the Jewish people. I don't know, you know what I mean? But one thing I do know, a lot of stuff I'm not too quick to trust. You know what I mean? I'm not, because, we, and we should be that way, I think, because we've been lied to, bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, man, for hundreds of years, man. Can't trust nothing no one says to us or attempts to put in front of us, especially if these things or, whatever it is we're trying to find out about ourselves is not orchestrated and created by us first, Again, that's just me. That's my take on things, man. I'm sure I'll have this conversation with my wife later, that's coming. So thanks a lot, Chris. Appreciate you, really. I'm gonna have that conversation though, man. Yeah, I think though, if our people decide that they want to see what the end result of a DNA test brings, then hey, man, by all means, do that. Do that. Just, be mindful that, all those things aren't accurate. Some of them are just there, man, to actually just sell a product, man, with no real validity or value, to the product, Giovanni Supreme, he say long life to homie too from 11 Deuce Hoover. Real spit, homie. Rest well, bro. Rest well. Blessings to his family and to all his homies and homegirls. Amen. There you go. Amen. Amen. Yeah, man, that was a loss. And me and the wife still think about that, man. That was a loss. Shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. Just straight up. So anyway, I've been like I said, I've been busy all day. I've been busy all day, trying to get this content in order, just basically in terms of how I'm dropping it and how, what I'm saying, as well as how I'm dropping it. Like I said, I want to clean shit up. I want it to be right, so I'm working hard at just making sure that it's coming out right. And that when I present it, there are no kinks and shit, it's a process. I appreciate it. That's why I'm doing it. Like I say, I don't have no problem doing what I do. I don't, and I don't look for, and this is the truth, man. Anybody that knows, I don't look to be compensated, especially by the people for what I'm doing. I don't think that's right. So what I do, I'm saying that to say what I do because, I'm taking my time to do it. You know what I'm saying? And if any money is involved, be equipment or whatever, that's out my pocket. I'm not looking for a return. That's why I do it. But again, I'm hoping that if it's just one person to get something from this process that I'm involved in, I didn't create it. I'm just involved in it. Then, man, the work, man, is for a reason. It's for a reason. It's going to serve us. It's going to serve us. Yeah. I see you, Giovanni, man. You say, for real, I missed the homie. Yeah, good dude, man. Good brother. I'm telling you, we chopped it up. Man, he liked our bikes. He's finna hook us up, man. Cause we had already had our ideas in terms of um what we wanted, not airbrushed on there, but the graphics and the designs, what we wanted. He saw that ain't nothing. So me and him sat down, man. He's showing me everything he did, man. I'm like, damn, man, where your business, where your shop at, why the homies ain't. And that's a conversation with. I'm being straight up. I mean, he was a brother with talent, and I don't know if he had a physical shop, with his name on it, and he's conducting business in that shop. But that was my question to him: where's your shop, man? Damn, homie, to have you in the shop, and every homie with a motorcycle, homegirl with a motorcycle, supposed to be up in that thing, man, getting that shit done up, and everybody that's cool with us, and he ain't had to be cool with us. You just see the work, see the quality of the work. Be like, hey man, I'm finna go over there, man. I'm going over to get this work done because I know it's quality work. Not only that, I know I'm gonna get a pass because it's about business. We had that discussion, man. Sad, man. Yeah, sad that brother gone. Rest assured, though, Giovanni, man, he cool now. Ain't got to deal with this BS no more, man. B60M, man. He says, greeting, bub, and the Royal Group congregation. Right back to you, brother. How you doing? Hopefully everything's everything. You looking good over there, man. You taking care of yourself and those you love, man. That's your work. That's supreme work right there. Don't nothing come for that, man, other than grand rising. Once you get, 10 toes down, you already know, man. Job one, man. It's in effect. You taking care of you and yours. All right. Good to see you in this get down, though, bro. Mother Mao, excuse me. That's a M-O-A. Mother Mao. Yo, I'm not in the loop, but Hoover history hella interesting. I got a question. Someone told me Hoovers went back to being Crips and not criminals. Is that true, or is it just some sets that went back? All right, excuse me, y'all. Mother Mao. Yeah, this channel, man, it started off as Under the Groove, the Hoover story. And I was able to, link up with some of the founders, to ran it down to us in terms of how this thing got started, whatnot. I delved in it for, for some months, maybe a year or so. After a while, I lost interest in that. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up, I didn't think that should have been, or it should be something we talk about or glorify, but to your question, whatever, the homies are doing, that's what they're doing. I actually did do a piece on that. And in particular, it was the 107s who had made a statement in regards to going back to Crips and not being criminals. All right. That conversation, I think, that conversation, let it be told, it got stretched. It was taken out of context. Whatever was said to some specific individuals, and however that go, man, that's how that went. That was the politic for that environment, that, that moment, that time. As to rest of, Hoover going back to Crips or staying criminals, man, just what I know is what I know. That's not the case. Most Hoovers are Hoover criminals. Then you got the five deuces who are Hoover gangster Crips. But I think a lot of people miss the significance of it all. And that is the Hoovers first, and, they don't mince words about that. Hoover first, so that is, again, respect, to you and your question. I appreciate it. But normally what we do now, we try to when we're talking about gang stuff or gang activity, we're trying to talk brothers and sisters away from that. That's the conversation. We think that's the conversation. We think that's the conversation worth having, especially when the Royal Group congregation is sitting in here doing our thing. We rather sit up and talk about, those things that can bring about solutions for our communities to get us right. When we waste time or we spend time speaking about gang issues, then that means we neglect it, or we put time towards something that should not warrant the time that we put on it. You know what I mean? All our time should be spent. It should be directed at trying to figure out how to stop the gang culture. How to eradicate it from our communities, because it's a killer. It's a killer of our people and our kind. Not only do those individuals who partake in it kill brothers, that look just like them, but in the process, they kill themselves. Most of them will get caught. So their futures are dead. They be, that's just what we rather talk about. You know what I mean? We're not saying have no pride, in the community come from, for whatever reason you feel that you want to be prideful of it for or about, that's on you, but I'm one to say, hey man, I love where I come from. I love the fact that I came up over there my whole life, however, I don't like what I see. I don't like that I was a part of something that I am now able to witness, this destructive that has nothing beneficial in it for me, you, anybody, man, especially the young ones, the young brothers and sisters coming up, So when we talk about gangs, we discuss it in this context. Gang banging needs to die so brothers and sisters can live. That's how we discuss that, again, in all due respect, you're more than welcome to be here though, Mother Mao. That name should mean something, might be a revolutionary after all in there, but you're more than welcome to be here. All right, sister. Peace and blessings to you and yours. And take advantage of this grand rising you had today. All right. Jump on in with another question, but let's talk about, again, our thing is trying to find ways. We want to have discussions that can lead to solutions that we can apply, to the communities, That's what we're about. That's what Under the Groove podcast is about now. All right. Peace. All right. All right. Hey, man, staying warm in Shreveport. Is it snowing down there, B60? I know I was in Mississippi, man, some decades ago. I used to travel a lot, right? And man, I pull up, get off the plane, go there, and, go through Jackson, wasn't nothing. Get to the town I was hanging out in what they call the Summit, but the city, the city was called Macomb. Man, snow everywhere. Like, what the hell? But it was a good feel, man. It actually, man, I was prepared for it anyway. It was down south, and it was winter time, so it was cold. I was prepared for it. I don't know, it just had a feel good. It made me feel good just being in the snow down south. You couple that with the hospitality down there, man. I'm telling you, it's second to none. As far as I know, sisters and brothers in Mississippi, some of the best people I met were some of the best people I met, So yeah, man, you stay warm down there, bro. Yeah, I was telling the brother, man, I was telling Roscoe, because he snowed in somewhat down there where he is. He got a fireplace, man. Throw some wood on that thing, man. Get some hot cocoa, man. Get a good movie, man. And hey, take advantage of that, right? All right, bro. Take care in Shreveport. Israel, man. Shalom, family. Much love and utmost respect to everyone. There you go. Hey, right back to you, bro. Again, it's good to see you in here, man. How are you today? How was your day? And that goes for everybody, man. How was your day, man, today, people? Brothers and sisters, how was your day? I can sit up all day and tell you about for the next hour or so, 2 hours. I can tell about my day, you know, for the next, couple of hours. How was your day? We can talk about that, All right, I see you, Kimberly Mitchell. She say, Hoover, hey, real ones. Y'all stay up, get your spirit right. These people hate us. Know your truth. You just been lied to. Seek for the truth. Love yourself. There you go. That's what we do here. This is how we touch bases with the people, man. We speak truth to power. Wasn't nothing in there, no BS. Just telling you about BS, but wasn't nothing said or typed in the comments about no BS. Watch it, man. Because the lies are, man, they're abound. They're plentiful. From A to Z, they give you 100 lies, man, about something in that alphabet. You know what I mean? The lies are deep. They old too. Lies is old, man. Older than some of our families, you know what I mean? Some of these lies, man. I think that's part of the struggle too. Getting over these false narratives, these lies, man, about us. About us. I wonder how they feel, though. I wonder how they feel when they sit back and they look at us and they're, steadily trying to analyze not just our mindsets, man, but our spirit. I wonder what they come up with. Because I'm saying this because they have to think to themselves. I know I would. If I had an adversary or somebody I just decided was going to be my enemy because I didn't like the color of their damn skin or the vibe and the emotion or whatever that is that set me off about them. And I did everything I could to destroy them and they would not fall. They would not, they just kept coming. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'd be like, what the hell? Who are these people? I would be like, damn. Something else going on here. I may need to fall back and, try to understand just, not necessarily from a scientific point of view, but a spiritual point of view. Let me figure out what the hell going on because these people won't stop, If that was me, if she was on the other foot, I'm telling you, I'd be stunned to the point where, okay, man, I should just leave them alone. I'm just leave them alone, man. Because, and ain't nothing I can do to them, man, to make them want to quit, I don't know. So I wonder about them. I wonder how they really deal with, actually, if you think about it, their failure to annihilate us, to break us. I wonder how they deal with that. I wonder if someone in the home where they are suffers, I wonder if they closet junkies, alcoholics, if they've developed, because of this or because of our resilience, some mental issue. You know what I mean? I swear I wonder about that shit. I just do, man. I just do. But I don't wonder long. We want them, brain work that quick. We want to go through something in a matter of milliseconds. Be like, they'll figure it out. I ain't gonna tell them. But yeah, man. Appreciate that, Kimberly. Mother Mao says, thank you for answering my question, but I love how you're standing up for your community and now protecting it. And I have to admit this. As of now, I'm sitting in front of a screen speaking about protecting the uplifting and empowering of my community for now. I long for that opportunity, that time when it comes for me to be out there. And, the same way I'm doing this would be the same way I'll do it with them. Hey, man, no, this shit ain't cool. Let me give you an example. Most of them know my name, know the story, But I think what a lot of them miss is the pain involved, man. That we set at the feet of others, set at the feet of our loved ones, when we do some of the idiotic, things we do. The pain, man, the impact, man, that affects people. Like them cats don't really understand that. And it took a lot of us to have to go through that to get to where we are right now. Shit, man, my remorse is thick, but I'm motivated, man. The homie, man, Keith Clark said something to me that I thought was powerful. He said, man, hey man, forgive yourself. I'm paraphrasing here. Forgive yourself. Let that go. Move on, man. Do the work you're supposed to do. Don't worry about that, man. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing right now, man. So, hey, focus on that. That's why I do what I do. And I paid the redemptive price, I think, and if there's more for me, if the ticket is a little more, man, okay, I need a receipt for that too. Hey, man, let it be, but being here as opposed to actually being out there, feet, boots on the ground, is something I actually long for. I want to do it. It needs to be done. It needs to be done, So, yeah, I'm gonna stand up for blacks, period. And again, that's just not my community, though I know my community is in this fray as a part of the problem. That goes for all our brothers and sisters in the communities they from. I try to make it a habit to tap in with brothers from everywhere, in the hopes that one of them one day say, hey man, we meeting up, or won't come on. That's what I'm waiting on, what I mean? Especially when it comes to working with others, So appreciate you for dropping that. And again, like, comment, share this, get out. Subscribe if you see fit. Your subscription would mean a lot, man. But the fact that you in here right now, it serves a purpose, man. You part of this get out. So thanks for showing up. All right. Kimberly Mitchell said, I'm at work, slaving for the oppressors, trying to survive in this cold world. That's why I haven't been interacting. Sorry, love y'all. Don't worry about it. We understand. We understand, A lot of us we dream, man, and we desire, we want our own to be able to do for us and, reap the benefits for our labor, our ideas, man, rather than, help Gilmore continue to line his pockets, or to help him continue to make like he, brought something new to the table, have some innovation or invention that's his, we all long for that, to escape the oppression, man, of labor for other people. Slavery, man, is alive and well, man. It still exists, and until we're in such a position where we as a people, collectively or otherwise, individually, have our own, and that is taking care of those who are nearest and dearest to you, we always can be in that position, man, of the oppressed, to some extent, Again, I also think that no matter how much money you got, you'll never sit at their table for real. You'll never be one of them. Shouldn't want to be, but that's just what it is, But yeah, man, that's what we work on, sister. Stay doing what you're doing, Kimberly, because it's all for a reason. You have responsibilities, until such a time you're able to, distract yourself from that situation, focus on the focus. Get it done, man. Get it done, sister. You be all right. Send our love to you as well. Lord Uno 555 say, what's up, Lofo Trey Gangster Grip? Showing love. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. East side of jumping up in here and hollering, sharing your time with us, man. This is Under the Groove Podcast. You are touching bases with the people. So that's a good look, man. Appreciate you, man. And send Sinbad mine, man. Send love, one, my respect, man. All right. And I hope that ain't you with, boom. But anyways, All love and respect, man, to the Faux Trey Gangster Crips, man. And we hope that you brothers are safe and well. Trying to elevate, um, wanting to empower yourselves, wanting to get to the point where all that over there, y'all can own or y'all want to own, y'all will own. You know, that's to get down, man. Focus on the focus over there, bros. Today, I was doing doing a little content. I was doing a little content, right? It's a lot going on, y'all. It's so much going on, man. I'm telling you, man, we're missing more than half of it. More than half of what's going on in the world. And then what we think we know about what's going on in the world, that's not the real issue. You know, a lot of that is just diversions and distractions. We talked about this the other night. It's a lot going on, man. I don't know if any of you guys are TikTok users. You use TikTok or whatever. I was told just a little while ago before I started the session of this episode that TikTok is not the only platform that uses privacy policy agreements, term use agreements, and things of that nature. That they all do it. They all do it. However, we have to understand the transition that TikTok just made. Who is part owner or who has part ownership of TikTok now? That would be Trump and his business buddies, those with money. So they own some of TikTok now, and they're the ones who revised what they call the privacy policy and the terms of use agreement. They're the ones now putting in. Well, from what I was told, the apparatus or the app already had all these mechanisms in place where they can know where you are, locate you, know what you've been doing on TikTok. Not only that, but because you messing with TikTok, they can go in and look at everything else you've been doing, you know. Now, you know, they have this thing where they're saying they revised this agreement to where the details now are more, they've expanded. They've expanded. So I'm trying to figure out to what point, you know. So when I use TikTok, am I being watched? You already know everything I'm doing on it, but now you literally watching me. Now, if I drive from A to Z, TikTok can trace where I go, you know. Okay, I don't know. There's also this. I think that I just think that a lot of this stuff, man, is dangerous. That's what I think. I think a lot of this stuff is dangerous, you know. They had they're having a protest in Minnesota, right? So some content creators attempted to drop footage of Minnesota or Minneapolis, where the guy Alex Pretty just, you know, was recently murdered, gunned down, you know, by ICE, right? So they tried to upload the videos. Lo and behold, none of the videos would upload. You know, pixeled out, X's in the boxes, you know, just all kind of stuff. And so the excuse was, oh, there was a technical outage, you know. And to get this excuse, I think, more validity, TikTok put out some statements saying, oh, it wasn't just, you know, content creators talking about what happened to Alex Pretty. Oh, it was everybody. And I'm thinking, yeah, of course, you know, the smart way to do that would be to make sure don't know, you know, so that you can't, you won't be accused of, you know, strictly or just going after those who are talking about ICE and what Trump have ICE doing or ICE killing, murdering American citizens. So yeah, you make the whole system look like it's on the free or on the blink or it's glistening. That makes sense. You know, I don't trust the statement, not one bit. Not one bit, man. I think that, you know, this shit is rigged, man. Just keep track of everything we do. You know, we are actually living in a capitalistic police state. Everything we do is being monitored. So when the phrase freedom is used, I think that just is I think it's a lie. You know, it's a phrase that shouldn't be used. If your government watches everything you do, you can't go from one block to the next without some light up on the light pole or camera on the light pole recording you or your license plate. You know what I mean? It's a whole lot wrong with this stuff, y'all. A whole lot. And my suggestion is we be careful. We be careful. Because, you know, you got these phones sitting around us, these laptops, and you want to be talking about some serious stuff. You better make sure these phones are about 50 feet, these laptops, these TVs, you're in what they call a soundproof enclosure with no technology, you know? And hopefully that thing, you got some foil on the walls or some type of lead or something on the ceiling so the satellites can't hear you. You know, I think there's some dangerous stuff going on, man. But that was one of the issues I covered today. Another is the resurgence of the measles. Who would have thunk it? You know, who would have thought that measles, there's a reemergence of measles, a measles breakout in the United States. Measles supposed to have been eliminated here back in 2000. This 2026. But measles have been on the rise since 2022. Very little of that information gets out, you know? Why? And why is there a resurgence of measles? What's going on? You know? I don't know. I got one though, and some of you may not like it, but I'm gonna drop this one tonight. You know, I'm gonna drop it tonight. I'm gonna schedule it for tonight. It's about, you know, our girl Jasmine Crockett, and it's just, you know, a dive into, you know, not who she is as a person, but how she votes as a politician. You know, I think, you know, that needs to be, you know, you know, put out there. We need to understand what's going on in the halls of power. There's not a vote that concerns the Israelis that she haven't voted on. If it's about giving them more weapons, you know, to murder more kids, women, you know, and men over there in Palestine, she's on that vote. She's gonna, you know, check off for give them the money, fund them. You know, there's something wrong with that. You know, there's something wrong with that. Any black person, man, I think, that's willing to do that, allow a system like that that's going over there, Jim Crow or apartheid, whatever you want to call it, it exists. Anybody of color willing to do that, willing to vote, you know, for more armaments, to bomb and kill more people, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you. You know, just as quick as I say, man, something was wrong with me when I was in the streets doing the same shit I'm talking about right now that, you know, people are doing to other people. You know, something's wrong with me. But something is even doubly wrong with a person of color who supports that regime, you know, that that racist so-called state. Those people are nothing but colonizers. No different than the colonizers here who run everything. Only difference is, man, them people over there, hey man, they willing to fight till they die to not allow them just take their shit from them. But we get people over here in this country, man, that tend to talk like they know what they're talking about, or they talk the good talk. They talk the good talk, but then look at her record. Look at her voting record. Sad, man. Sad. You know, I don't think that that's right. Lisa Moore said, hey, bro, I watched that movie 12 Hours in October. Very interesting. 12 hours. Did we watch that? Oh, yeah. That was the one what I'm talking about now. Okay. Hamas's attack on you know, the October the 12th, you know, a couple of years ago when Hamas went into their land and you know, did what they did, right? Um, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Not because, you know, Hamas was doing what they were doing, but I didn't like it because the movie just struck me as an American directed type movie where you're always going to have a hero with them. You know what I mean? Against all odds, man. One person, two against tens of hundreds of people. And you know, I don't know, man. I didn't like the movie, man. As far as that issue go, again, man, I'm like this, man. Um, I think people over there, you know, they're willing to fight for their rights, you know, fight for their rights, man. And that's what's being overlooked. You know, a lot of us we have sympathy for people who not even supposed to be over there, you know, but we're not having sympathy, empathy, and even understanding in terms of what the people who were already there way before they came are going through, what they've been going through since I want to say 1917. I'm not absolutely sure. Probably a little later than that. All right. Probably a little later than that. But thanks to the British government, and maybe even America had a hand in that, they just decided to, hey, man, y'all go over here. Y'all go to Palestine. We're going to create Israel on these people's land. We're going to take it from them. Basically, that's what they said, you know. And then people, you know, initially, the Palestinians, you know, welcome them here. Y'all come on in, man. It's cool. Lo and behold, before you know it, they start massacring the Palestinians. Same shit that went on here in North America with our people. They get over here, everything's cool. Next thing you know, they're killing up everybody, taking land, you know? In the same way that our people over here got no sympathy, empathy, understanding, help, and support from the rest of the world, that's what they're going through. That's what they're going through. That's what they're going through. And that's a shame, man. I think that's messed up, man, to allow. So why is this allowed? Because they say them people, them ish people, run everything. They got all the money. They're in American politics. This is why Jasmine Crockett votes the way she do. She's scared of that power structure. They have lobbyists, man. You know, they have people that sit down and, you know, they'll work with your campaign or they'll work against it. So obviously what's more important to her is her political career rather than her integrity. That's the thing about a lot of people. You know, we see that. Integrity, man, is the lowest thing on a totem pole nowadays. Her votes consist of everything for them people. Man, if y'all do not trust what I'm saying, please go research it. Go look it up. Jasmine Crockett's voting record, especially how she votes on the Israeli government, bills and tickets or whatever. Go check it out, man. For her to be running around, she sent more money to Israel than she's bought into her own district, man. We're talking about billions and billions of dollars she sent to Benjamin Netanyahu and that regime, that Zionist, come on, man. She's probably bought in her community 12 million. 12 million. Check it out, man. If power has you handcuffed like that, hey man, you're in the wrong, you're in the wrong vacuum, the wrong get out. If you're not there to do the will of the people, you ain't got no business in there, you know? You ain't got no business in there. Not on that, you have no business thinking that you should be respected. You know? Now let me get in this because the homie got a statement, man. I'm gonna get to that, my bro. All right. Lisa Moore, yeah. I did watch it. Like I said, I didn't, I didn't like the movie, but yeah. The homie says we need a reevaluation of self-interest because we are allowing other people to dictate our so-called chess moves. And I think that's part of what I'm saying. She does what she is told, especially on the Zionist regimes, on whatever they say. She's doing it. Not one time has she voted against anything they've brought to the table. But again, she don't, there's no, the cause is what she talks about, man, in terms of the community, man, that she represents down there in Texas, man. I looked at that too, man. And I'm like, man, that's on the low end, man. This is why you only see her bringing $2.something million to, what was that, man? Infrastructure, some type of infrastructure, another $2.something million towards some about a road, and then a $8 million get down she brought in, and that had something to do with some type of service. I wasn't, I was so pissed, man, just looking at her voting record that this other shit just slipped my mind, but y'all should go check that out. Yeah, we need to reevaluate our self-interest because we are allowing other people to dictate our so-called chess moves. And she don't have a chess move. If you saw her campaign, her political ad to run for Senate, U.S. Senate, if you go look at that shit, I'm telling you, man, if you got any sense, you're gonna be like, what the hell is she thinking? What the hell is she thinking? In fact, I'll pull that up for you. I have it because, like I said, I'm going to do a piece on it. And to my brothers and sisters that say they support her, hey, man, again, this is one of these times or instances where, man, we are allowing how we support people to be dictated by other people, And the truth is, man, look, that's a distraction. Let me go pull this up, man, because I'll talk about this till I'm blue in the face. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. I got it right here. Okay, and I had it set for this, so just check this out, everybody.
In Congress, so let's take a look at her record to see what she supports, and it'll give us a better sense of what her leadership would look like as a member of the Senate. In April of last year, she voted to send over $26 billion in U.S. taxpayer money to Israel as security assistance. That same month, she voted yes on a resolution condemning the phrase, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," as...
Oh, I got to stop it. I'm sorry, and I might do this for the next couple minutes. 20-some billion. How much of that Texas could have used? How much of that her constituents in Texas could have used? Man, that's crazy. And then what she give it to him for?
As anti-Semitic, according to Americans for Justice and Partnership would look like as a member of the Senate. In April of last year, she voted to send over $26 billion in U.S. taxpayer money to Israel as security assistance. That same month, she voted yes on a resolution condemning the phrase, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," as anti-Semitic. According to Americans for Justice and Palestine Action, Crockett has not called for a ceasefire in Gaza. Last year, Crockett just basically consistently voted along with Republicans and most Democrats, to be honest, to provide more and more military aid to Israel. So I put my cards on the table, and you guys know where I stand on various issues. For me, support for Israel's war machine is a red line. And so I'm really bothered by what I'm reading here. According to Americans, yeah.
Hey, listen, again, man, we have to start doing our own research, man. so that we could get to understand what's really going on, especially, man, when we're dealing with people that look like us. We see every day on social media people who look just like us, but don't give a damn. Don't give a damn about any of us, man. You know? It's no different, man, than what we seeing in politics on a national level and the politics on the social media level. It's the same get down, man. No integrity. Come on, man. I'm pretty sure we got black people worse than that, man, but that's bad.
So last year, Crockett was asked how she feels about Americans who are tired of sending money to Israel.
This week in Woodland Hills, we're teaching everyday investors about our rules-based investing methodology to protect.
And here's what she had to say about that.
I understand. I also think that if people are going to vote as it relates to foreign affairs, which typically is not how people vote. When you start talking about foreign affairs, if that is going to be kind of like the precipice for determining whether you vote or who you vote for, then I want people to really dig in to foreign affairs, right? Like, and ask the question, which I think is a fair question. I think it's a fair question of all the money. If I'm being 1,000 about this, when you think about, and because of the conversations that I've had, if the United States says we will throw away our 75 plus year relationship with Israel because we don't like their leader, then if we end up with Trump, we set a precedent for all these other allies to throw us away. It will set a certain.
Hey man, I can't digest no more. This broad is an airhead, man. Excuse me, man. Again, no disrespect to anybody, man, that support her or like her, man, but nah, man. Yeah. There's that. But yeah, I'm gonna drop a piece on her tonight. And again, I advise, man, brothers and sisters, man, who support her, man, to really go look at what she's done. What she's done, man, the harm she's helped to cause them people. Now, here's the thing, and I saw your question, the homie. Let me get to that as a matter of fact. You said, I'm gonna skip C1. We see you. I'm gonna let you in hot seconds, niece. Let me address this. The homie, you said, man, both the Jews and Palestinians are extremely racist towards black people in modern Palestine and Israel. They call us slave and create low-income areas for our people to dwell in. All right. Now, be that as it may. Here's the thing, man. And again, we tend to get caught up, man, in other people's ideology, man, or how they see us, whatnot. And so much so that we tend to forget to take care of ourselves and do what we need to do for self, man. Because the best way, man, in some respects, the best way to battle that type of ideology or mindset of people who are racist, man, is one, to ignore, man, and do what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Show them, man, through your get down, your actions, what you develop, what you come into, how empowered you and your people have become. Them same people, you do it that way, you do it right, them same people be coming with the hand out. And that's when you'll be able to check them. That's when you'll be able to set them straight and let them know they got nothing coming. Again, man, we're the whipping board of the world. So it should be no surprise that right along with them Ish people, man, them J people, the Palestinians might feel the same way. We got brothers in North Africa feel the same way. In Algeria, in Morocco, man, come on, man. That's a fact. That's what's happening. My point though is, so what? People gonna have these opinions about us. Come on, man. It's been that way for hundreds of years. It's been that way for hundreds of years. And then if that's the case, if you're making that a point, you know, for, you know, an argument to say, hey man, well, the Palestinians, you know, yeah, okay, then they don't deserve none either, but they don't no more than the Jews do. Then you just write them both up. Don't get, you know, hey man, let them have it, let them kill each other, you know. But now we're talking about, man, the situation that us, the melanated people, should be able to relate to, you know, regardless, man, how we see shit, how we, you know, feel or think about other ethnicities in terms of how they feel and think about us. We're talking about genocide, man. We're talking about just mass murder on a scale. Man, look, man, being committed to a people by a people who is supposedly also in that same boat. It's fucking hypocrisy, man. Why would you support? That's what I'm saying. Where's the integrity in this shit? You know, that's what you know gets to me, man. So you know, Jasmine Crockett, like I said, she's an airhead. She's a buffoon. Don't know what the hell she talking about, man. Anyway, I see the homie. I'm going back up, man, because I caught that question. I was scrolling, I saw that. I said I got to address that. But again, man, that may be the case. Palestinians may despise us just as much as the Jews. Again, man, who don't despise us on the face of this green earth, man, more than the other? Who? We know this shit, man. And, you know, and this is why I say, man, for the most part, we're supposed to be focusing on empowering ourselves so we can excel, so we can ascend, man, to that status of state where we don't need nobody for nothing, you know, to where when that time comes, them same people gonna have their hand out. And that's when we can decide whether or not we're gonna help people or let them, hey man, bring them back into the know. Wait a minute. You felt this way. You said this, and this is how you got out with my people. But why would you, you know? Shit, man, that's how you get people, man, who deserve get back, you know? And we do what we're supposed to do when it comes time for us, and we are the saviors of the world. I don't care what nobody think or say, man, just all you gotta do is think about it. We would have the wherewithal, the right, damn the power, the right to say, no, I'm not going to help you. Help yourself. Yeah. No. But I get it, bro. I see you in there, though. Food, clothes, and shelter, man. Our basic needs. Hey, C1, how you doing, Queen? Good to see you up in here. She said, I'm still here. Peace and blessings. All right, right back to you. I send you and auntie and family all the best in this fuck time, sir. Yeah, it's messed up, ain't it? It's something going on in the world, y'all. I'm telling you, we are not the wiser because we are so distracted, man, on minute issues, you know, trends, you know, all the stuff that don't really matter. Man, we could wake up any day now and they could be raining down missiles, nuclear warheads on us, man, for all we know, you know? We're so caught up, man, in the shit that don't really matter, man. Wasting life away. Okay, so let me read this, C1, because you're saying something here. She said, I'm still here. Peace and blessings. I'm sending you and auntie and the family all the best in this fuck time, sir. Australia just signed a deal with Planter. What is that? We are now officially fucked too. England also. Okay, I got to get to. Hold on. Let me get to that. Hold on, everybody. I need to understand what that was about. What deal did Australia just sign with Planter?
Australia recently signed an $8.5 billion
Ah,
deal with the U.S.
so now they're gonna go and pillage and rape the land.
Supply chains and reduce reliance on China.
Mm-hmm.
Both countries investing $1 billion each in projects like a new gallium refinery.
Mm-hmm. So that means then sacred lands and all that are at the discretion of the government, whether or not they can go and extract natural resources or these so-called what they call these minerals they need, man, you know, make all this technology. So I get what you mean by that. Mm-hmm. And that, yeah, that mean they finna strip the land if they talking about just doing it for stockpile. Oh, Trump signed in on that. This agreement signed by President Trump is intended to strengthen bilateral industrial cooperation and ensure stable supplies of minerals essential for advanced technologies. Also, though, I think Trump got a hold of Australia because Australia is in such a way to where they're near Russia, China, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. And they have a dependency on them. That's what I think. And Trump, whatever, man, they're trying to do, they're trying to bring all these European states together to where, you know, they don't get nothing. Well, they're coalescing, they're coming together, man. They're coming together, man, and they're doing it for, you know, for the sake of resources and shit like that. And anytime you start seeing stuff like this, man, there's something else really going on. There's something else going on, man. So Africa better look out. They already ran roughshod over South America, got them bowing. Trump got them bowing. Anyway, yeah, we feel for you, sister, and hopefully everybody's okay. You said my last live, sir, was a dedication to my ancestors. I hand sew and hand painted a suit, ancestral suit or ancestral suit, I say that lists and embellishes with glass beads. Each tassel is date and location of the genocide of my people. Always follow the money. And you're right, sir. Everything you are saying is correct. I was disappointed also. It's cash, sir. It's a real thing. Yeah. 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 And again, man, you got to know this world is ran by non-melanated people, you know, and they have one desire, and that's greed. You know, there's greed. You know, the power just gets them everything they want, you know, and they want everything. They want everything. Everything they have, they take and look, man, it didn't come from where they came from. Everything they have was stolen, you know? And we got a whole lot of our people, man, assisting in this theft, you know, assisting in this mass genocide, man, that's assisting in steadily chipping away at what's left of us, our spirits and our souls. That's what they hammering at now. Shit crazy, man. Shit's crazy. The homie says, man, the mass of African Americans have been brainwashed to side with biblical reasoning. That's true. That's true. You know, for whatever reason, that's true, man. Let's say, and I don't agree with, or I don't think that slavery on that level, whereas it involved us, was on that level. You know, I just don't. I just think that there was a population of us already here, up and down this continent, man, South America as well. All right. I think, however, that some did come, and it was a trade game they played. Bring them over, land them here for however long, go back, sell them, go back, get them, buy them back, take them to the Caribbeans, you know, take them to all these island nations, and then take them back to Africa. Boom, bring some, you know, I think that was a cold system. I think that system actually existed. My point, though, hey, man, when they said in movies, so this, you know, not just because it's in movies, I say it's true, but you know those saying, is art imitating life, or does life imitate art? You know, but they say in movies, especially when they show those bondage movies, how they have the Bible and the sword or the gun, and they forcing this on them. You know, they're using the Bible, and so people, if you just imagine, man, people are thinking, damn, man, this must be a powerful thing. Whatever's in there, I need it. I need it. My freedom's in there. Damn, man, I hate that shit, man. I hate that, yeah, we've been brainwashed. We've been brainwashed, man, in the worst way, you know, in the worst way. Brainwashed. It's like that brother, man, a week or so ago. I don't know if anyone saw that. He helps this racist dude over in Minnesota from getting the shit stumped out of him by his own people. The whites was finna beat him to the ground, man. One brother go and shield, well, there was two actually, but go and shield the door. Oh, no, you know, and then going to give the explain afterwards. I'm a child of God, and you know, this is not right. Da 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 da. You know, all people should be loved. Da 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 da. You know, but the reasoning, I don't know why he wasn't able to comprehend. If that's the case, God don't protect evil. Just don't. And especially those who blaspheme, if such a thing actually exists, in his name. You know what I mean? Most of these so-called racists call themselves Christian. Shit all a game, man. It's a cold game, man. Anyway. Yeah, man. Whole lot going on. We got to change, man. Facts, though, homie. That's true. Appreciate that. He said, Bub, you right. Appreciate that, man. Airhead facts, man. We got to represent us. I'm telling y'all, man. And see, like I said, I wouldn't research her. She worth about $9 million. She claimed to have been a criminal defense attorney, civil rights attorney, you know, things of that nature. You know, and her excuse as to, because she was asked why you only got $9 million, you've been doing this for so long. Her excuse was, you know, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you go read it for yourself. And she did use one phrase I'm about to use. They asked why her worth, her monetary worth was so low, $9 million. She said, well, you know, I was helping the homies. Fucking broad, man. You know, like, damn, man. Okay. Anyway. She just sent hundreds of billions of dollars to Israel's war machine to continue to colonize these people. And I'm saying, man, what's wrong with that? Not the fact that, you know, the Palestinian Jews don't like us, man, that they hate us or racist toward it. It's the fact that, man, you being a black person seem to have no concept of what the hell you're sponsoring. How can you not know better? How can you not know better? Your people here were colonized. Your people from the motherland was colonized. Atrocious shit done to them. You support that shit? That's why I got a problem there, man. All right. Yeah, Sharp Spear said, man, airhead facts on 100. We got to represent ourselves. The homie says, we need a better relationship with our African continent. That's not those Arabs in North Africa. I agree. That's another issue. And, you know, for the most part, you know, I kind of keep my politics, you know, to myself, man. But, hey, man, you know, a whole lot of stuff I don't funk with, you know. Hey, man, you know, if some brothers like it, some brothers love it, I like it. That's on you, man. You know, what you eat don't make me shit. You know, who you do it to don't make me come. If you all right with that, then so be it. But the fact remains, I think the fact remains, or depending on how closely you look at this, a lot of brothers don't really understand the history. Don't really understand what's done. Again, man, how can you be cool with one and not cool with the other when they both done the same shit. You know, that's it, man. Facts, sir. What you saying? What you guys saying? Okay, C1 said it's a cast, sir. It's a real thing. Yeah, we know this. We know melanin man, melanated people, man, are on the lowest end of the totem pole. We know that. You know, we know that. You know that that's how they think. That's how they get out. You said facts, sir. That's why I made my pants to show you what they can do in only 200 years. We were millions upon millions. And again, that's another genocide they don't talk about that occurred in South Africa. I mean, in Australia. For real. They don't talk about it. You know, they barely, when they talk about Africa, what they'll talk about first is what happened between what happened in Rwanda with the Hutus and the Tutsis, right? But they won't talk about in depth. They won't say, well, they did. I read some shit about so-called King Leopold and the shit he did. They got statues of this motherfucker, man. And then they call themselves paying reparations, man, right? And that shit, man, that shit was sad, man. You know, and that's a kingdom over there. That's a kingdom. And they're only a kingdom super rich like that because of what they did to the continent, on the continent of Africa. Millions upon millions, man. Always people of color. We can go up and down the spectrum, man, of the color spectrum. If you had some color in you, man, I'm telling you, you were done wrong by these same people. These same people, man. Same damn people, man. C1 says, we were millions upon millions. Now we are the 1% of the population of this country and 27% of the Australian prison system. Boy, that sounds like shit over here. 1% of the population, but 27% of the prison population. That sounds like some American shit. And if these ain't two devils at work, and I mean the devil, not individually, but the country, the governments ran by the devil, man. And I'm just speaking here. I don't necessarily believe in the devil, but I'm just saying. Man. The homies say, see, if we African Americans judge other people on how they treat us, we will be fine. I'm saying, I think that's what I'm saying too. Yeah, listen, again, though, I'm also saying this. We know what it is. It's in our DNA, man. And I don't know if any of you brothers and sisters at a certain age have ever experienced racism. For real, you know, I don't know. But if you hadn't personally, it's still in your DNA to understand it, to know it, to get that vibe when you're around it, you know? If we African Americans judge other people on how they treat us, we will be fine. B60 said, man, the Ish people are afraid that we will want our identity back. Biggest case of identity theft in the world. You ain't got nothing to do with no plastic either. You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. But I think that lie is unraveling. It's unraveled. You know, it's against the law over there. They can't even take DNA tests over there. You know, they cannot take DNA tests over there in Israel. Forbidden. Go figure. You know, go figure. How some Europeans claim to be part of the 12 tribe. Us. To have the God gene. To be God's chosen people. Look what they doing. Look what they doing to people. You want a professor claim to be God's people. Man, get out of here. I don't buy none of this shit, man. the biggest case, no, the greatest case of identity theft in the world. Yeah, real shit, man. Appreciate that, B60. Yeah. The homie said, let's focus on what our West African homeland, Ghana, Nigeria, Cameroon, etc., has to work together with each other and build a better way of life for our Black universal people. So something's wrong with Nigeria, bro. They bought and paid for it, homie. Just straight up, man. I don't know no other way to put that. Cameroon also. Ghana might have, there may be hope for Ghana, you know. There may be hope for Ghana. Depends. Something going on over there right now. Right now, you know. In fact, yeah, that's Ghana. That's Ghana. Matter of fact. The dude that been running Ghana for shit since, oh man, Musavu, I forget his name right now. Is that Ghana? Yeah. President of Ghana. Yeah. I think that was him. I hope, well, could be wrong. Oh, Mahama. Okay, so this Uganda then I'm talking about, or no, it's another one. Anyway, but Ghana, okay, yeah, I am familiar with Mahama. He's trying to work with Ibrahim and them. Yeah, now hopefully that works out, because I think the blueprint, Africa's way out, man, is through Ibrahim, Goita, and Chayambi. I think that's his name. Them three brothers in the Sahel. Couple of them with Chad, who's also now trying to be in this. Get out, man. That's the blueprint. That's the key to unlock themselves, you know, to unlock the change, man, that's been around them, that France, United States, Germany, mostly all the European nations have put around that continent, man. That's their way out, man, of bondage. And I think if they don't follow that blueprint, man, then you know, something's gonna happen to them three countries, man, mainly Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. But I think Mahama, man, he's making strides. Yeah, matter of fact, he's making strides. He's trying to change. He's trying to line it up with them. But France still got a grip on them, man. But what we say, that brainwashing, man. Is that him? I don't know if that's him. Wait a minute, make sure I get my shit right. Yeah, it is Mahama. France got a grip on his ass. He ain't, matter of fact. Let me fall back on that, because I got to look at that again. Yes. Yeah, I got to look at that again. But Africa, especially the Sahel states, man, all that, everything that France had a hold on, or had a grip on, and America had a grip on, they're trying to break away. They're trying to break away, man. And that's probably the best thing for them. But the only way for them to get loose, to wrestle themselves, you know, free of that grip they got on, man, is like you said, man, have their own self-interest at heart, you know, in forefronts of their brain. That's what they got to be on. Damn everybody else. Damn everybody else. Get your shit together. The president of Uganda. Yeah, so I hear you on that one, the homie. There you go. That's Uganda. That motherfucker been the president over there since 1986, man. And they have what the whole family have ruled Uganda, but the son got power now. Pops is old, you know what I'm saying, about 90 something, I think. And you know, now France is trying to threaten him, like we finna come and get you because he don't want to play ball no more. But been talking to Ibrahim Torre, been talking to him and the rest of them brothers. So ain't no telling how that's gonna turn out. Hopefully it turns out for the best, man, because that'd be another African state or country that will align themselves with the AES, man. And I'm telling you, them brothers gonna need all the backing they can get. Them brothers got to come together because that thing's gonna be bad over there also. A whole lot going on we don't know about. Yeah, but Nigeria, oh man, they're terrible. Southland Zone 25 Gaming, what it do? Where you been? Good to see you up in here, man. So what it do, big homie, man? Everything is everything over here, man. You know, and matter of fact, people, for those who are watching, you know, haven't commented just as yet, man, this is the Royal Group Congregation in the chat. This is Touching Bases with the People on Under the Groove podcast, man. Like, share, and comment. Subscribe if you haven't already, people, all right? But subscribe only if you see fit. You know, this is where we get down with the get down, man. Everything is good on this end, Southland. Hope that you're well, man. Good to see you up in this get down. See, one say, I'm officially at war with my own country. Nah. I think you phrasing that wrong. You're not at war with your country. You're at war with the people who have control of your country. You're at war with the government that, you know, who have taken, you know, your country, you know, the land from your people. Usurpers. That's who you at war with. You know. And the coldest thing about that, you know, I thought about this. People that come and colonize other lands and come and just take the land and you know, set up camp, man, say, oh, this is ours now. What? I don't know. What's the mindset, man? You know, when people tell them, well, they hear, it's not even your land, man. You're an immigrant your damn self. Go back home. You know, oh, we built this land. No, you didn't. When you really start to question these people, man, and you know, some of what you're talking about, man, they don't have a leg to stand on. They don't have a leg to stand on, man. Most of them, man, they can't even tell you when their ancestors got here. You know, they can't tell you who was here before they got here. They can't tell you what they built, what they contributed to society. You know, they'll tell you, oh, it's because of us that the world is civilized. What? Really? Cold, man. Yeah, but this guy, that's Uganda, man. Museveni. Yeah, his son has power now. Yeah, that's a shame. Anyway, yeah, man. Hopefully the African continent, man, you know, coalesce and they come together, man, and kick all them people out, man. They ain't got no business there. And that would be from South Africa to Morocco, Tunisia, you know, Libya, Algeria, you know, get rid of them. Yeah, it's bad over there. I hear you, C1. But that's what they do everywhere they go. They steal land. They take land. It becomes a land grab. And then they'll lay claim to it like it's legal. And it makes you wonder, why has anyone ever went to the World Court, not just the United Nations, but the World Court here in the United States, the Supreme Court, and fought in terms of saying, hey, this is not their land and we need the court to, you know, I'm gonna have to look at that, man. Look into that. Again, I can see SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, man, siding with those in power. I can see that. You know, that would be a no-brainer for them, you know, to see, you know. C1 said they are literally stealing our land, and they have the biggest CIA base in the world right here. Oh, I didn't know that. So us First Nations, So us First Nations people and all brown people here are getting nervous. You know, don't get nervous. Start thinking, get ready. And as me and the homie and some other brothers say, man, food, clothes, and shelter, have that ready first. Me, I would probably add one to that, but you know, hey, I would add one to that, and that would be first, you know. Then it'd be food, clothes, shelter, you know. But yeah, get ready. Don't be nervous. You already know, you know, again, man, people of color know how they act, know how they work. Get ready. Not get ready to submit, but get ready, you know. They're never satisfied. Now they always want more. They create nothing but take everything. I'm telling you, that's the truth. They said I'm trying to figure out what you're saying here. You said the Mexicans and Native Americans say you were before America was America. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of dark-skinned brothers and sisters in the U.S. Yeah, it's Turtle Island. You know, you have to. I'm gonna say assume, but you'd have to assume that we were here a very, very long time ago. There are artifacts in Mexico that was there, man, long time. And they were there because of us. You know, the bust, the heads of these 10 for these things are very high, man, huge. It's us. It's us. You know? So, you know, we were here. And again, you know, I think it's not, I don't think it's about the argument. You know, it shouldn't be about, okay, who is it? I mean, we shouldn't even argue that. Again, I think what we're supposed to be doing is handling our business, man, and getting together to such a point, or such an extent to where once we got our shit together, then we use the knowledge, education we have, you know what I'm saying, of who we are first, our identity, you know, and then our history to go and reclaim everything then that, you know, was ours, you know, and work out whatever you're going to work out with people who may be on it, been on it for a couple hundred years, but still it has to be acknowledged. This is ours. That would go for people in Australia, the Aborigines. Same thing would apply, you know. And go same thing, brothers and sisters in South Africa. The board's gonna be talking about this ours. No, man. You stop that, but you know, we have to get our shit together, man, so that we can go claim everything that's ours. Let me see. You say some of our people were literally given a baptism by fire. Yeah. And it's still in the history books. So, and this is C1, you know, and I'm pretty sure y'all, man, it's very interesting, man, comments you making. So I never understand how my cousins became Mormon. Shit, I was about to say, I can't understand how black people become, you know, Christians or Muslim, you know, but shit happens. It happens. You said, sorry for taking over chat with my know-it-allness. Nah, you good. You fam, you already know. Pretty sure everybody read everything you done put in there. The homie goes on to say, most historians estimate that between 5 million and 10 million Africans died in the Congo under King Leopold II of Belgium during his personal rule, the Congo Free State, 1885 to 1908. Man, a massacre, that genocide, man. Genocide, man. I called myself last week trying to look at photographs of this shit, man, because they got pictures of what the hell they was doing to people, man. I think maybe a minute, 2 minutes. Kids, man, babies. Like, nah, man, I'm not looking at this shit, man. Pissed me off. Anthony Tibbs, man, what it do? Yep, definitely the same shit, y'all. It's definitely the same thing. So back to what I started to talk about, and it involved, you know, the sister, Jasmine Crockett, and how she votes, you know, as a representative in Congress. All her votes are in defense or support of the Zionist regime. All right. And I mean, man, weapons, and then a denial of another people's right to exist. You know what I mean? Because it's a fact, they're killing them off. That and they said it anyway. You know, that regime, that Zionist regime said they wanted to get rid of them anyway. She supports that shit. I couldn't trust her, man. I couldn't trust her out of my sight, man. She supports that shit. And she's talking about representing the people of Texas. Texas was another cold state, man, when it came to that situation. Bet she forgot that too. Cold shit, man. Definitely the same shit. Chris said, man, it's the same system running. They're running the program. I said it, y'all. Y'all say it all the time. We say it. It's a playbook, man. They got a playbook. You know, that thing in full effect, man. They don't have to make no new playbooks. They working off the same playbook, man. You know? Now, don't get me wrong. They might write a new chapter every now and then. You know, something new come up. They say, oh, that will add it to, you know, the back of the book. Save it for when it's time to be used. Same playbook, man. Same playbook, man. And the shit's working. That's what's sad about it. The shit is working, and we know the damn playbook. We know how they call the plays in the playbook. The shit still work, man. Almost like a trick play, man. Some football shit, right? Shit works, man. It's still working. Yeah, man. That's right, C1 facts. Real shit. You say I experience every time I go outside because Australians have a fucked up, blind, racist sense of humor. Really black and white and raw, and it's not okay. My African friend says how racist our culture is. B60 man goes on to say, oh, wait a minute, let me finish that. How racist our culture is. Don't the French still have their hands in all three countries? Where you talking about Africa and Niger, Mali and Burkina Faso? If that's the question, no. All three, to their credit, kicked the French military out. What they didn't do, what they neglected to do when they did that was kick the NGOSs out. You know, the non-governmental organizations, which are really government organizations, you know, sent there to spy and shit. So now Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, they're kicking them out now. And I say, man, and I'm pretty, like I say, I think these brothers are super intelligent. They see what's happening, and they're going about it in such a way to where, yeah, war may come as a result of what they're doing, but it won't come before they can get their shit really ready. You know what I mean? Because France is not gonna, America is not gonna allow France to just sit there and suffer. No uranium, no more gold, no more. Hey man, you know, y'all ain't bringing nothing to the table, France. Where'd you cut? I mean, where's your half of this get down, man? You know, so that's coming. But nah, they got rid of the French military. You know, so what they do, what the French and the United States is doing, they're using so-called jihadists or so-called terrorists. You know, they arm them, they send shit, you know, to try to overthrow the governments of all three. But like I said, them brothers are super intelligent. They are on top of all that shit. And then, you know, give credit where credit is due. Russia has supplied them with military training, military equipment, as well as China, North Korea, you know. And I don't want to say Iran right off the bat, but maybe, you know. But another good thing about all three countries is that because of the fact they've taken back what is rightfully theirs in terms of the resources, now they're able to purchase. They don't want handouts. They're not asking for no handouts. They're building from the ground up. You know, they're building from the ground up, man. They're building their own shit now. You know, and I think that's a beautiful thing. You know, that's a beautiful thing, man. You know, they can do it. Why can't we? We can do it. It was just a matter of, man, like I said, the right people in place, man, to bring the people together. We can get this shit done, man. Them brothers over there, man, they not aligned with no buffoonery. You know, they, like I say, they send in these so-called jihadists or these terrorists to try to overthrow the government, man. And that shit is not working. You know, I suspect at some point the damn so-called terrorists or jihadists are gonna be like, man, telling the French and Americans who's bringing them this shit to help to try to overthrow the government. Nah, man, we good. Matter of fact, we finna go join them. You know, I see that coming. I see that coming. So that'd be a good look. James Cass, salute right back to you, bro. Yeah. Happy Wednesday, brother. All right, I see you, homie. You got the email, right? Use the email. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I want to tap in with you. Well, when you get a chance, bro, I did put it in the link in the beginning. So when you get a chance, man, copy that email, man, and tap in with me, all right? See, Sharp Spirit, boy, you be on some shit too. Yeah, now, most people don't know that the NAACP was founded by them J people. Most people don't know that. Most people don't know that, man. And I want to say the Urban League as well, but for sure the NAACP. Most people don't know that. You know, and this is why the NAACP as an organization is ineffective, because they got people controlling them. You know, straight up. They have people controlling them. Shit. They don't run shit. C1 says French involvement in Ghana has grown significantly in recent years, evolving from limited historical ties into a robust partnership focused on economic investment, debt restructuring, security, etc. That's why Toure won't let them in. Ibrahim Toure is doing it right. Yeah, he is. He is. But you know, again, France is in trouble, man. France is in trouble because the place where they got their uranium, power the lights in their cities, you know, that country, they can't get it from there no more. You know, they can't get it. You know, now they've been offered, oh, you want some, you got to buy it, but at market price, you know what I mean? But France has no intention to do that. You know, that would be the slap in the face for real, you know. But yeah, they're going to use those countries that haven't figured out yet, man, the best thing for them is to get rid of them European. They'll use them until they figure that out. And in the meantime, between time, France is going to continue to figure out or try to find a way to overthrow those three lions in the Sahel, you know, just to get back, in their mind, the rights to those natural resources that they've been pillaging, man, for decades, man, for free, might I add. Them countries are dirt poor, man. Look at them now. They have infrastructure now, man, roads and shit, man, schools and hospitals. They have factories and plants where now they are self-sustaining, grow their own food, man, export it, man, building their own cars and shit. Come on, man. Run their mines now, their gold mines, their uranium mines, you know, all that shit. Their diamonds. Man, you don't think them Europeans mad? Y'all don't think it's going to be some shit? It's going to be some shit. I'm just saying, I hope them brothers ready. Hey, man, Anthony Tibbs, you ain't lying. Hey, like I said, bought and paid for. I'm telling y'all, man. And that goes, again, this is what we're talking about in terms of social media. And our brothers who on these, on the platform of YouTube and on these channels, these podcasts and the shit they're doing. Listen, man, y'all have to understand one thing, and it's real simple. They're bought and paid for. And for those who ain't yet necessarily been bought yet or been paid for, they're trying to be. They're trying to be. So this shit, like I say, man, to the halls of power, man, down here, man, on this marginalized plane we're on, same game, man, just on different levels. Same game, just on different levels, man. And that's some fuck shit, man. We all supposed to be mad. Muammar Gaddafi, he was saying, man, damn the American dollar. Let's trade in gold. Man, them people saw hell nothing. They didn't wait no time going there. They sent the right people in there to stir or foment, uprising, to, have people want to protest, and they were living good. What they protesting about? They didn't have to pay for they had free medical care, free education, didn't pay rent. What the hell? Man, come on, man. Went there and got him, man. Didn't take no time. They didn't waste no time, man. Raymond Skull, 102, man. How's the brother from the Rays? Good to see you in here, man. Everything's everything on this end, man. We just chilling, man. Having these conversations, man. Raymond Skull said, what's up, bud, man? Just breezing through real quick. Big ups on all things politics. The clip I seen was very informative regarding BRICS. Peace. Hold on. Peace. Peace to the chat, to Royal Group congregation, man. Hey, man, let it do what it do, loved one. Just seeing your presence tonight, man, that's all good, man. We already know, man. Again, like I say, man, stay warm, bro. Keep them doors fastened and windows closed, man. Stay warm, bro. Yeah, we're talking about a few things, man. And all things politics. It's a lot, like I say, going on in the world, man. And we need to delve into it, because I think getting into it, understanding politics, when you get to understand politics, you get to understand that it affects every aspect of our lives. And because there's something going on over here, don't think that it's not affecting what's going on over there. And conversely, whatever's going on over there, don't think that it does not affect us and what's going on over here, Now, in that respect, hey, man, look, politics here, if they eat it, we may end up shitting it out. We fuck it, they may end up coming. I'm just, using these little metaphors. Anyway, I just got checked. All right. But yeah, there you go. Appreciate you checking it out, Raymond, man. And I ain't Roscoe, I appreciate that. I ain't got to ask you if you, went through the motions with all that. Get down, man. Thank you for that, bro. This go to the rest of y'all, man. Go and check out All Things Politics 26. Like, share, comment, man. But most definitely, man, subscribe, man. And hit that notification thing, man, so that y'all know, man, because I'm dropping stuff on that every day. Every day I'm going to drop 2 to 3, different episodes of different things, and they'll range from anywhere from 15 minutes to maybe 25, no more than that. I will cut them down. But the topics that, what we discuss or what's going to be discussed will be interesting. And if you pay attention, you'll know that it affects you. It affects you, man. Trust that. Again, hey, Raymond Skull, appreciate you for that, bro. Anthony Tibbs said, man, we headed in that same direction here and fast. Real quick. Skoluster 7901. He said, I said that they're coming to the Super Bowl and they will be taking people. Man, y'all got to be crazy. Y'all think because they done killed another dude over in Minnesota, they going to calm down now. Man, Trump need these distractions so that he could keep doing what he's doing behind the scenes. Because the first time, man, we come up out of this slumber or tripping on some stupid shit he done did will be the first time we start to see that this sucker been playing us the whole time. He got some shit going on that's really going to affect us. Yeah, man. They not finna corral ICE, man, them Border Patrol agents, man. I'm gonna tell them to keep doing what they doing, man. They talk a good one, man. Like I say, that's what politicians do. You know, talk a good one. They're not gonna fire Christy Nome. You know, they're not gonna get rid of Tom Homan. You know, and they're not gonna remove ICE from the states that they got them in. They're just not gonna do it. You know, again, it's a good distraction. You know, good diversion. You know, so it works for them. I could see him at the Super Bowl, but imagine this, and I don't mean this to be just callous what I'm about to say, but hey, man, I was saying this over a year ago. Brothers need to get ready, get them LLCs together, get them business licenses together, man, so that there'll be room to sell merchandise. You're looking at the ticket in terms of what tourists are going to spend. People from all over the world, man, we're talking about tens of billions of dollars. And you set up something, man, you know, you get your shit together, man, you set up something, a booth, find you a good corner or whatever, man, and you get your, you know, you might want to spend 10,000, 20,000 on merchandise. Price it right. You'll walk away, man, good paper, you know, do it right, man. T-shirts, fanny packs, you know, water bottle holders and shit, you know, hats, sun visors. Spend 25, 30,000 on all that type of merchandise. Spend 10,000 on each one. Do the math. You ain't nothing you selling under 40 bucks, 45 bucks. Everything else goes up to about 100. You're going to get your piece of that pie, man. And then have some backup merchandise. Try to have you 2 or 3 locations. Shit. You gonna get a piece of that pie, you know. But yeah, hey, Skolester, you ain't never lied, man. They will be at the Super Bowl. Probably the only people able to be hanging around selling shit, you know, making some ends is us. So I advise you get ready. I advise. Sharp Spear said, man, our grand ancestors created the African identity and Pan-Africanism to unite us in America and elevate our continental family above tribal conflicts / history that undermines global realities. I'm gonna have to read that again because again, man, gems. Our grand ancestors created, and this is from Sharp Spear, our grand ancestors created the African identity and Pan-Africanism to unite us in America and elevate our continental family above tribal conflicts / history that undermines global realities. That says it right there. We were in both locations. And for some reason, we over here, well, they over there in Africa on the continent, we over here on this continent, we talking about, oh, man, you know, we damn. Hey, man, we all the same. We come from the same get down. Hey, you better stop it. You better not be messing up that shirt. Yeah, we all come from the same place, man, the same ancestors, man. And again, man, they had the blueprint. They had the script, man, before we even realized one existed for us. There's a playbook for us as well. She in that chair, messing up stuff. Leave her alone. She in this chair. Oh, she heard you coming. No, there she go. Leave her alone. She okay. No, leave her. Anyway, yeah, man. Anthony Tibbs said, man, New York itself covered with black colonies that are now lakes, as well as every other corner of this continent. Shit, what they say about Central Park. When I first read about that and understood that that was us. And, you know, Park Cemetery and a whole lot of other things was on that, you know, on that land. They came and took that shit, man. Took it. So, you know, this, you know, we already know, man. We know what we know. You know, real shit, man. Anthony Tibbs said it was NAACP and Urban League or, let me see. Oh, that was it. Damn. I don't trust neither one of them. Just be real with it. I just don't. James Cass said, I got you, bub. I'll hit you up tomorrow sometime, my brother. I've been having an all over the place schedule, but I hope everything is well with you. Appreciate you, King One. Right back to you, King. Love and respect, homie. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing major, man. You know what I'm saying? This just be us tapping in, which is a good look, you know? It's a good look, man. Yeah, man, be safe, man. You know, on your journeys, you know, doing what you do, man. Take care of yourself, man, first and foremost. You know? All right, C1 said, I just want to take a moment to let the chat know I take over a lot, I talk a lot, but through my passion, I think about all of you on a regular basis, even though I can't put faces to names. It's all right, sister. I don't know what. You better really go relax. You all right, Queen? Kick back. I'm telling you. See, and here's the thing, man. Our congregation is going to grow. It's going to grow, man. And it's going to get to the point where we're not going to know every name and face. It's just not, you know, it's going to grow like that. But the fact of the matter is we come to know our members, who we are in this congregation. We know how you know, C1, we know you got a lot to say. You know, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, we know some brothers, man, Anthony and them might come in, Antonio might come. They might have just a couple things saying they cool. They kick back for the rest of the time. You know, give a black fist, man, a blue heart, a red heart. You know, we know, man, just what it is. So, you know, that's nothing. That's nothing but you, being comfortable enough to be you as a part of this congregation. That's it. That's all. All right. You're gonna do you. Because you write a lot of shit. Sometimes I don't read all of it because it'd be a lot sometimes, you know. But for the most part, you know I'm gonna read it. And don't let you be on one, spend some real shit. I'm gonna read everything then. You know, it's all good, sister. Don't worry. Marva, thinking of y'all. B1 sending power, love, and positivity. And I'm gonna take a massive hit from the bong. Coming at you. Yeah. Gonna do the thing. I see you, Antonio. All right, bro. Hey, James, man, thank you, bro. You know, and I try to make it a point. I attempt to always let the Royal Group congregation and those who are not a part of it know that I appreciate everybody, you know. So I'm, you know, and if I haven't said or if I don't say it enough, thank you just for being a part of this, y'all. And thanks for allowing me to be up in here with this, you know, just get down with y'all. All right. So James said, thank you, bub. You as well. UTG, love and respect to the RGC1. Always, bro. Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson. All right, bro. How you doing? My big bro right here. You say, top of the evening, young man. Just checking in with you. Much love, Big Pete. Hey, see, like I say, and when we get used to the names, you know, we know when Pete come in, Pete gonna say what Pete say. It's just what it is, man. And I love it. I love the fact that, you know, big bro is here, man, and he dropped that, you know. So I appreciate him for that. Love and respect right back to you, bro. You know. You know. All right. B60 and tell the truth, man. Do you. This is the place for that to occur, y'all. You know, again, it's above board. You know, this is where we keep everything solid and straight, man. Ain't nothing underneath there, man. Ain't no underhand and no backdoor and nothing, man. But this is where, man, we keep it respectful. We keep it about love. Even when we disagree, we have to be able to know how to agree to disagree and still, man, have that same flow and respect, you know, for one another, for self and then for another, you know. So there's no worries, man. This is the place for that, you know. This is where we focus on the focus because we come to get down with this get down. we're talking about love and unity, man. We're talking about trying to find a better way, a solution to a better way of our people living, man, or representing themselves, real spit, man. So, yeah, C1, do you. Ben told you that. She say, appreciate y'all for real, for real. Go on, girl, go on and lift up. Go on and lift up, take off. Get up in them clouds. Yeah, man. Man, I think that when we contemplate where we are, man, as opposed to where we need to be, it has to strike us or hit us. Like, we have to come to the conclusion that, okay, we haven't done enough work. We haven't put in the work, because if we're still sitting up, man, like, damn, man, we still in this position, we still, then that means we haven't been doing the work, and the work would be, it's so obvious, we wouldn't be talking about, man, damn, we still in this, be like, hey, man, they're all right, we did well. All right, what we striving for next? What's our next step, of evolution, man, and excellence, Okay, well, now who we gonna go empower? The more the merrier. We need our brothers, you know what I mean? When we're like that, though, we're looking at what's fucked up about us. We aren't doing the work, man. We aren't doing the work. We have to start doing the work, all right? C1 says, y'all make me motivated to continue the good fight. You should be, yeah. Yeah, you should be motivated. That go for each and every one of us, She says, crazy as I look, LOL. You all right, sister. Again, like I said, man, each one, man, have to own who he is. You got to be you. And be true to self first and foremost. Okay, and with that said, everybody, yeah, it's time. It's time. Just so you know, Wednesday is now one of our official days. So we have Tuesday, Wednesday, again tomorrow night, Friday, and or maybe Sunday. Those may alternate, all right? They may alternate, but the way I'm looking at this, man, the way, my core been speaking to me, my spirit been speaking to me, it's now, Every opportunity I get, I need to tap in, we need to tap in, man, and let's get this shit right, man. Let's put it together, all right? So in time, we'll be able to say, yeah, this is what we did, and this is what we're going to do now, As opposed to like, damn, we still doing this shit, and we still here, That being said, love yourself, man, so that you can love somebody else. Take care of yourself first and foremost, so that you're able or in a position to take care of someone else who needs taken care of. A lot of our brothers and sisters don't know that they need support, that they need love. A lot of them don't. Real shit. Our work then is to let them know, man, there's love, man. There's love to be dispensed to our brothers and sisters first before anybody else. That's what that B1 means. B1 means black first. Let's take care of ourselves so that we can take care of each other, all right? Always focus on the focus, man. Be ready to get down with the get down, man. Wherever you are and however it comes, all right? You are, you have been, and you will be under the groove. The power's in the people, y'all. Have a good night, everybody.
Count the names, count the bodies, count the victory. Cullen Hughes, Hearst, and writing future history. From the Apollo to the borough to the sphere. Where the echo of those Harlem nights still ringing clear. So when they ask what happened in those tenement flats, between the spirituals and where consciousness is at, tell them we transform suffering to scholarship and song. Tell them we've been telling you we're brilliant all along. The Renaissance will prologue every decade since the sequel. Every black child born's continuation of the people who survived the Middle Passage, survived the Jim Crow laws, and built magnificence from nothing but their vision and their flaws. That's in the sergeant. This is once a less than. Actors, hats, and Mercedes. Please don't you, I can't stop us. Power sensitive, watch of the applause. for pose. Need your data, talks and constantly problem when the wet just wanna build the season bait. Now don't get the pause. It's just erasing up the cons, bleeding buckets off the main. Naked on the fans, turning neck and love the durn. Suffers like a kesha. You went from the preaching up on side is each alone, bitch on the shit and untrue seeing vet someone the very inch on Gary Lynn. Be hell in heaven, you see what the bound in. You wait something for the moderate to keep him for the club and saw the boards to the single land is carried open stone and keep us lucky on my mother, break your channel, resi for the he and let the blessed be is every time we keep a spawn.